You weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820.
If you're purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Suzanne called after hearing me explain discount points on my radio show because her son was purchasing a home in Colorado. I answered Suzanne's questions and encouraged her son to call me for a free consultation. Suzanne was so impressed with the service I provided, she wrote this 5-star Google review. Quote, I sent David an email today with a question about discount points that I heard him talk about on his radio show. And he called me back this evening with a complete explanation. I'm so impressed with his responsiveness and knowledge. Thank you, Suzanne, for the amazing review. I strongly encourage everyone to check out Team Hochberg's close to 600 5-star Google reviews. Team Hochberg helped Suzanne and thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 112-461.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here, along with the triumphant return of Ellen Miller.
Good morning, Scott Duff.
How was your cruise?
It's always fantastic.
Yes.
It's always
so many blues.
So many blues and blues musicians and
so many blues on the cruise.
Yes, sir. Yes, very fortunate to be able to do it again.
Excellent. Right on. Well, welcome back.
Thank
Glad you had a good time.
Always, yes. Thank you.
And we got warmer weather for you.
Yeah, we're in the 20s.
I know.
Fantastic.
I am not wearing long underwear for the first time in about 4 weeks.
Good, yeah. You got to have that on when the weather dips. I guess I missed some cold weather while it was gone. But
yeah.
There'll be more.
Oh, don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'll be here for
Yeah, great. Well, we're glad that you're back.
Thank
and
you.
then you got a little sunshine and a little bit of a blues cruising.
Yes, sir.
There we are. Hey, we've got a great show for you today. This hour, we're going to be speaking with Coco Soodek, co-chair of Q-Force, an organization and community for queer and allied Chicagoans fighting to embolden Democrats and defeat Republicans to create a more progressive America. I always say, the antidote to despair is action. And I think, getting involved with some folks who are coordinating some efforts, I think it would be a great idea. So looking forward to chatting with Coco this hour. And next hour, the primaries are coming up. I can't believe it's February. We survived January.
Yeah, we did.
Thank goodness.
One down.
Now we're in February.
Yep.
And the primaries are happening in March. Next month, a mere 6 weeks away. So next hour, we're going to speak with Kat Abughazaleh, the 26-year-old candidate who is looking to represent Illinois' 9th District in Congress.
Teach everybody how to pronounce her last name.
Yes, there we are.
Because I see her on the commercials, and I want to be better at pronouncing
Look, let me tell you, her commercials are really, really good.
They're compelling.
They're very. I'm like, all right. There we go. So I'm looking forward to chatting with her and
chatting with her too.
Learning a little bit more about her.
Yeah, she's put herself out there, as we know, in this ICE crisis that we're having.
Broadview,
Broadview. So she's quite a force of nature.
Yes. So I'm like, hats off. Come on, Gen Z. And of course, we need to get our art on. The Story Theater closes out its 5th season with the world premiere of Pot Girls, a new play about the power of women, words, and weed. We're going to be chatting with playwright Paul Michael Thomson and director Ayanna Bria Bakari. I'm so excited to be chatting again with Ayanna. We had her on the show when she was in Purpose.
Yes, I loved her. She's
so good.
She's directing.
I know it's her directorial debut, so we're very excited to have her on. And of course, we would love to hear from you. So give us a call at 773-763-9278. That number again is 773-763-9278. And of course, you could also use that to text us. If you don't want to chat with us, go ahead and please send us a little message, 773-763-9278. You can listen live every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central at 8:20 a.m. on TuneIn from heartlandsignal.com, or you can watch the live video stream on the WCPT Facebook page or the Heartland Signal YouTube page. Oh, and also, I do want to make sure that I get this out there. So WCPT Senate Candidate Forum with Raja Krishnamurthy, Juliana Stratton, and Robin Kelly is happening this Friday February 6th at 1 p.m. John Esposito, Richard Chu, and Patty Vasquez will be moderating the forum. WCPT will be broadcasting live on 8:20 a.m. and streaming on TuneIn, heartlandsignal.com, and Facebook Live. And if you want to attend this free event, all you got to do is visit heartlandsignal.com/forum and register today. Do it now because seating is limited.
Yeah, those are in-demand events. So.
Yeah, if you are wondering about parking, forum attendees can use the multi-level parking garage on site for just $5 per car. WCPT's Candidate Forum is sponsored by Plumbers Union Local 130 and Ironworkers Local 63. Doesn't say where it's happening, though. That's interesting. But I guess you can find out more information at Heartland Signal.
Just keep listening to me say it's a surprise.
It is.
We know about the parking.
We know about parking. It's going to be in a garage.
Coming soon.
So just find any garage
that has $5 parking.
$5 parking. That's where we're going to be. Well, hopefully we can clear that up in a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting notes. How are you doing? How was you? Did you feel rejuvenated?
Oh, that's not probably the word I would use for my cruise because I don't sleep a lot, unfortunately. Well, there's music going till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Right.
And I play but I feel rejuvenated musically, and the people are great. I'm very fortunate. I've got a nice relationship with some of the long-term musicians on the ship, like a guy named Mr. Sip. He's from Mississippi. His real name is Castro Coleman, and he won a Grammy 2 years ago for his gospel record. He's just an amazing artist, and he's taken a liking to me the last few years.
Oh,
and he does a jam that starts at 1:30, Scott, up in the Crow's Nest, 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And he always has me be a big part of that jam and invites me for like the finale usually, which happens around 3:30.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, so, but it's an honor and a pleasure to play with him and with the other musicians, and it's just a great time. It just goes by so fast. It seems like, we got a whole week. I'll do that later in the week, and then all of a sudden you
do what?
Just go to the certain part of the boat or go hear a certain artist that I didn't hear 4 or 5 of the bands. I never had a chance to hear them. There's just so much. There's like 20 some bands on this cruise, so it's a great cruise. I went to St. Martin, St. John's, and St. John, and did some all natural sunbathing in St. Martin.
Come on, girl.
Oh, yeah, let's go there. I have a little sunburn, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got to go.
Oh, no.
Aloe on there. I thought I got every one of those spots that never sees the light of day.
Oh, no.
It's getting
That's
better.
got to be tender.
It can be. Yeah, it can be. But with my friend Janet, and we hope to never see anybody from the cruise on that beach. It's about a 20-minute. We didn't. We just kind of anonymously.
Oh, so this is like someplace that you've... Well, clearly you've been before.
Many times, yes.
Okay. So
Orient Beach in St. Martin. Part of the beach, it's in the French part of St. Martin. It's Dutch and a French island. Half is Dutch, half is French. So 2 different countries involved. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the French side has a nude beach.
Ah.
Yeah.
Zutello.
And so I just, I just like to swim. It's rare, but I'm a swimmer. And to be able to swim on natural.
I love it. Are you kidding me? Ain't nothing better than skinny dipping.
Highlight. It's just the highlight.
Nothing better than skinny dipping.
And you have that wet, soggy, cold, gross bathing suit laying around your body the rest of the afternoon while you're sunbathing. You're just you.
Wait, what are you doing? Where are you that your swimsuit is cold and wet?
Well, I mean, it's wet. It's just damp. A suit is wet. It doesn't dry right away. It just, who wants to have it? You guys just have the bottoms. If you had material all over you that was wet, you might not like it so much, I think.
Don't know.
You don't know, but I'm here to tell you. But anyway, just a side note. But we had a great time. My roommates, Marianne and Janet, are old pros at this, and we have our thing down. We get up we have coffee delivered around 10 a.m. and start our day. Usually we're in bed by 4.
I think, I could not do that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Kathy can't do it either. That's why she doesn't go.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
No.
But I also wanted to mention, today is a bittersweet day for me. It's the 100th anniversary of my mother's birthday.
It would have been her 100th birthday.
Would have been her 100th birthday, and I was looking at a lot of pictures this morning and missing her, but I do have her sister, my dear Aunt Virginia, also having a birthday today. So
Wait, they share a birthday?
They share a birthday. They were born on the same day, February 1st.
Wow, well,
5 years
birthday.
apart. And I feel blessed to have my aunt in my life. She's a second mom to me. She and my mom are the same astrological sign. They're very similar. They're beautiful women, and we are going to be celebrating her this afternoon.
All righty. No, she's not in town.
She's in Wilmette. I mean, she's not in
is.
Wilmette. I'm sorry. She raised her family in Wilmette. She lives 3 blocks from me on Southport in Lakeview. But
Why did I think okay?
Because I have other aunts
You've got
in
a lot
Ohio.
of aunts.
Yeah,
All
I've
right.
lost the other 2. They were 100 and 102. My other older aunts. But she's recovering from a fall at a rehab center in Skokie. We're going to all go over there and have a pizza party today.
All right, come on, pizza party.
I'm a little sad about my mom, but I'm a lot happy about my aunt.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Things to be grateful for on this February 1st in the new year.
I know, and we've survived January.
We survived January. Yes, we did. And I know you've had you had a kind of a
Girl,
tough
it
week.
was the I hate it. Just sounds so petty and selfish, but I think I had one of the worst weeks I've had in a long time. I was sick as a dog.
Fun.
I basically slept 16 hours a day, Monday through Wednesday. It was like, so that means I was awake for like 8 hours, and that was not continuous throughout. It was just like, something hit me. I tested it, didn't have COVID. I didn't have the flu. I don't know what it was. Just got knocked out, but I did get to catch up. I finally got to finish the latest season of Yellow Jackets, because that's where I am. Mm-hmm. The thing that will bring me comfort is watching cannibalistic high school soccer players.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
And let me.
Thank God they have that out there for you.
They do, that particular niche. Let me tell you, too, that show was crazy.
I started watching it. I couldn't watch it.
It has
anymore.
gotten even crazier.
Has it? Is there still cannibalism going? I mean, like talking about it, or I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a constant theme.
Well, you didn't even watch. You watched the first episode.
No, I watched the first few.
Yeah, but they didn't even get into it.
No.
There.
Okay.
As much. It was just alluded to.
Yeah.
But if you're not familiar, it's actually very, very queer too. There are so many lesbitarians throughout that entire soccer team, and lesbitarians in the real life.
Who knew?
Because it goes back and forth between, if you aren't familiar, it was a show I was obsessed with. It is basically Lord of the Flies meets a high school girls soccer team. The plane crashes in the wilderness.
Yeah.
They are left to their own devices, and it goes back and forth between when they were stranded and to the people who survived. And spoiler, they're not doing so great mentally.
Yeah, I wonder why.
in the present day.
Surprise.
And it's one of those things now where you kind of have to watch it, where you just like have to, the suspension of disbelief is huge. Like, you are suspended by it's a bridge that is suspending your disbelief, because there's so much stuff. Like, why wouldn't people be reacting to that? Like, this is just confusing, but I'm all in.
Yeah.
It was great. It's silly. It's kooky pants, and some amazing people show up.
Really?
Like
guest
actors.
stars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you've got Lauren Ambrose, who was from 6 Feet Under.
Oh,
you remember that? Yeah.
Good
But
show.
Hilary Swank pops up in
Some
there.
big names.
Elijah Wood is in there. Melanie Linsky is the most terrifying person on the planet, in my mind. But anyway, so I was able to kind of
indulge in that,
catch up with that, and then my dog had a seizure, and he collapsed. It was just one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. And then I had to go. I was scheduled for a big oral procedure that happened, and on my way, found out that Catherine O'Hara died at 71. It was just it's just been. Yeah. It's been not a great week. That was a gut
left
punch.
field. Yeah, really sad. Really hit a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm she was so young, and she was such a unique light in the world.
She's a part of our, if you're into comedies the last 30, 40 years, I mean, she's in some of the best.
Yeah, she was just incredible, and watching her. The fact that she's gone is just so odd. And of course, my heart is going out to the Levies,
Very close.
Yeah. I mean, they've been
doing stuff together forever. Yeah.
Since Second City
in Toronto.
And then moving on to SCTV, way before. And They even tried to date for a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
They did. It didn't work.
Didn't work. But they stayed good friends.
Yeah, they stayed good friends.
We all have some of those people in our lives.
Yeah. And then, to have, Dan Levy, just kind of break everybody's hearts. He was posting a picture of, of her holding him as a little kid.
Aww.
And it's like, she was my family before she played my family.
Yeah.
And she, yeah.
Only 71, too. I mean, not that old for, it happened sick. I didn't know if they said it was a short illness. Scott and I were talking before the show. She didn't look great at one of the recent award. Looked a little thin.
She just looked a little gaunt, but I was chalking it up to L.A.
Yeah.
They're all
on a diet.
Everybody's hungry and thin.
Yeah.
In L.A.
Yes.
And anyway, but so it was a huge moment. That was what a light. I remember Beetlejuice is kind of one of the first performances of hers, that iconic scene of them sitting around the dining room table with Harry Belafonte. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I never saw it.
You never saw Beetlejuice?
No.
Oh, man.
The title grossed me out. Beetlejuice. I don't know
what.
Beetlejuice. Beetles. Ooh. It's their juice. Beetlejuice. What does it mean? I don't even know.
Okay. That's the name of a character. So
why is he called Beetlejuice?
I don't know. That's his name.
Nobody knows? Just a weird name.
Just a weird
It just sounded gross to me. It sounded like a bug that got squashed.
Well, yes. He's kind of like a bug that got squashed.
So anyway,
but her performance in that was
I like Best
brilliant.
in Show, Mighty Quinn, of course.
Waiting for Guffman is the...
Waiting for Guffman.
She's great.
Love.
She is just brilliant in that. And nobody could play drunk like her, like Catherine O'Hara. When in Waiting for Guffman, do you remember when they're at the Chinese restaurant? And she's talking. Well, I can't really talk about it too much. She gets a little tipsy, and she and Fred Willard are husband and wife, and they're out to dinner with the dentist and his wife, and she's just talking about wildly inappropriate things. When she's drunk, and then of course, when she was on, I can say it if I say the TV show Schitt's Creek. Right there, when Moira Rose, but what an incredibly iconic character. For some reason, you could buy into the narcissism of that person, but you would still like her because she was just kind. But there was that one episode where she finally got an acting job, and it was to do to promote Herb Erflinger's ice wines.
Oh yeah.
And she was drunk during watching that commercial. We watched that over and over again the past couple of days.
One of the very best.
One of the very best, and we were lucky to have her light shine. And we do need lights to be shining right now because now they're coming for the journalists.
Yeah. God,
wow, that was a hard turn.
Yeah.
That was a hard turn right there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what's going on. So, we're just gonna take that hard turn. We're gonna go to a little bit of a break, and we come back where we'll turn to that awful hard turn. Of course, we're talking about how Don Lemon was arrested by DOJ this week. But this part about Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. If you are purchasing a new home, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Sally, Bob, and their newborn son Gus, combined income of $200,000 a year, called to get pre-qualified. David answered their questions, introduced them to your realtor, and helped them secure a mortgage with a low down payment. Now let's review. David pre-qualified Sally and Bob to purchase the home 4 months before their lease expired, introduced them to a realtor who located them to the perfect home, and helped them secure a mortgage with only 3% down. If you're purchasing a home and with the same outstanding service Sally, Bob, and Gus received, call Team Hochberg now at 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com and Google Team Hochberg to read their 700 5-star reviews. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of WCPT listeners, but they can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are diving into the horribleness of the news that is this week. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
This Sunday on WCPT, I'll be bringing a lawyer, not just any lawyer, to a gunfight and the aftermath of Chicago's Little Village crackdown. Since there's no crystal ball, join me, Turi Ryder, at 2 this Sunday with your questions and predictions on WCPT. And if you miss us live, catch us later on the Heartland Signal podcast page or your favorite podcast platform. WCPT, where facts matter.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. Earl Lloyd was the star of West Virginia State's basketball team, leading them to 2 championship games in 1948 and 1949. Due to Lloyd's success, he was drafted by the Washington Capitals in the 9th round, and October 31st, 1950, Lloyd became the first black player to play in the NBA. Joining an all-white team was intimidating, but my teammates were immediately welcoming, said Lloyd on the experience. However, some fans, even some commentators, were not so kind, one even using a racial slur during Lloyd's first game. Lloyd spent 9 seasons playing in the NBA, ending his career with the Detroit Pistons in 1970. After playing, Lloyd stayed in Detroit, becoming a scout and then later an assistant coach of the Detroit Pistons before breaking the color barrier again, becoming the first black head coach in the NBA. Lloyd was inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame in 2003. Please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
I'm David Dodd with the Chicago Black Gay Men's Caucus. Welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT 820.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, reunited, and it feels so good. Hey, and we're now in February. Yay. And also just, hey, this week on Choose Views, Richard Choose guests will include Wisconsin candidate for governor Michael Barnes, human rights activist Qasim Rashid, Lavora Barnes of Democracy Defenders Fund, Virginia Lieutenant Governor Abughazaleh Hashmi, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, and show regulars Mike Nellis, Kurt Mullett, and Karen Byrne. That's Choose Views, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So I'm assuming since you were cruising for a bluesing that you missed a lot of the things that were kind of...
I did and I didn't. I had to stay connected because I'm still working. And I have to... So I didn't turn a television on, but I saw things go across my phone.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good... I saw what was going on.
Yeah, it's been another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, sure has.
Yeah, sure has. Let's see, this week in the news, Dear Leader Jing Dong is demanding that the federal government pay him at least $10 billion.
He loves billion. Everything's a billion.
Everything's a billion. But I love that he's asking the IRS to give him $10 billion. He's suing them over the unauthorized disclosure of his tax returns during his first term. That's great because, that's our money. A judge says that ICE has violated nearly 100 court orders this month alone. That's more than any other government agency in the history of those agencies. Let's see. Dan Bongino was out in Minnesota at home. But that's not even news. He's been complaining about how he's got to get up so early and stay too long at his job. For months he's been doing that. And he's been planning his retirement, like his escape, for a while right there. So that's not even new. And now Homan is in there, which, great. That's good. Somebody who is more organized. Fabulous. Let's see. The FBI raids Fulton County, Georgia's voting records. That is real fun. And Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, was there, even though it's prohibited by law for her to engage in domestic law enforcement.
Law? What law?
Yeah, there we are. Who needs that? Yeah, law and order. There we are. And let's see. Someone just can't let go of the fact that he lost the 2020 election. Ding Dong signs an executive order for America 250 Grand Prix, which is going to be a big Grand Prix around all the national monuments. Goes again, don't look at what's going on over here. We look about what's going to be happening up here. Fast cars, vroom, vroom. We like all that stuff. More documents from the Epstein files have been released, and some just magically popped up and then disappeared. How very interesting. And the very expensive and the very propaganda-y documentary. Melania gets I believe it's a 6% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. And on top of this, now they are taking the journalists.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. How are y'all feeling about that? Let us know. Give us a call or text us at 773-763-9278. The number again is 773-763-9278. Friends, we have got to start calling things out. They are going after free speech.
Yes.
They are going after free speech. They are going after the First Amendment. And they're most importantly, they're going after journalists. And more than that, they're going after black journalists.
And the gay
Let's just look at them.
journalists.
Well,
yeah.
yes. But all of the journalists that they detained were journalists of color.
All of them
yes,
were?
Yes. So let's see. We, in case you missed, a former CNN anchor, a very controversial man. Let's just get that out there. He's now an independent journalist, Don Lemon. He was taken into custody by the DOJ in the wee earlies of the morning after he was reporting on an anti-ICE protesters in a Minnesota church. They are saying that he violated their First Amendment, the worshipers, by interrupting their freedom of practicing religion. He maintains that he was there completely on a journalistic point of view, and that. Sorry, I'm on antibiotics, so I get a little gassy right now. And that he interfered with their worship, even though he did not. He was not participating in any of the chants that were going on that happened within the thing. There's video documenting of him just interviewing people and not being a part of the protesting. Yeah. This is wrong.
Yeah, people are really upset about this too. I mean, social medias have just been blowing up over it, and they're hoping it gets the same kind of attention that Jimmy Kimmel got when he was silenced.
But this is different. This is not coming after Jimmy Kimmel's a comedian.
Right.
That's great. And of course they come for the comedians first. We see what's happening right now with, they already came for Stephen Colbert, CBS buckled and CBS is like, whatever, all credibility with them, which is such a shame because they were the gold standard. I mean, you have like 60 Minutes. You have all of these. CBS,
Walter Cronkite. I mean, it came from a long legacy of trusted journalism.
Yes, and now, but they were going after the comics first, so they went for Stephen Colbert. Of course, his last show is going to be this year in May. Mm-hmm. They tried to go for Jimmy Kimmel as a comic because he's out there saying a comedian's job is to reflect society back to people, but through a funhouse mirror, like to kind of exaggerate the gaze.
What he does to perfection.
Which is what he does. Mm-hmm. And ABC, as we all know, yanked him temporarily. There was a lot of pressure that was put on him. And then he came back. But those are comedians.
But I think the point was that they just want to see the groundswell of support for a Don Lemon. They want to see the same thing for a journalist as they did for a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
That was the point of me making that comparison.
No, all right. Sorry. That was
just that people want to see they did come out for Jimmy Kimmel in a way that forced the network to put him back because they were going to say they canceled their Disney. But they're hoping that Don Lemon gets a groundswell of that same kind of support, although it's not, what are you going to cancel? But still, it's not what this country is founded on. It's the exact opposite, and we cannot let it pass. We cannot accept it. To have him silenced and arrested is just it's what dictators do.
Yeah, and especially it came after they had tried several times to get in a warrant, and the judges were like, "No, you can't arrest. Like he did nothing wrong." And then I don't know how they were able to.
They keep asking till they find someone that they can blackmail or just convince that they're They don't need to follow the law.
Dear Leader Ding Dong really, 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 really hates Don Lemon.
Oh, I'm sure.
But he has for a long time. I mean, he's called him like the stupidest man on television. He's just awful. He hates him. He is a black, openly gay journalist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is what makes our journalism, our media, the First Amendment, the press, because the press is called the Fourth Estate. It is the Fourth Estate for a reason. You have the three branches of government, of course, but then you have the Fourth Estate, which is the press, which, while being not a part of the government, it is there to hold people in power accountable through the truth, through reporting the truth, and through being able to get facts out there. That is why everybody is really they're upset about people with phones and recording ICE in Minneapolis. That is a big thing that's happening right now, and they're going after the press. You've already seen what's happened to the press corps with at the White House. It's just filled with just nothing but lackeys.
It's horrible.
Softball questions and just they do not ask hard questions because it's filled with conservative people, weird social media influencer type folks, and the people with real journalistic integrity. And whenever people with journalistic integrity do speak up, you've got that crazy lady, Carolyn Levitt, who's just you're biased and you're wrong and you're not even a reporter, and just goes after and attacks people the entire time. And now they're actually arresting people and putting them in prison, putting them in jail. They are out right now, which is great. But here's the thing. So dictators, they want to silence the media. They want to silence the media. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, you start sowing distrust for a very, 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 very long time. He has been saying things that, calling them the fake news. He's calling them the enemy of the people. They're human scum. He is trying to convince the entire MAGA base that journalists are stupid, dishonest, and deserving of punishment. That's it. And then, again, he really, 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 really hates Don Lemon. And he's been going that. So how do you, now that you've got the people saying that they are, dumb, that they're dishonest, that they are deserving of punishment, well, you get rid of the people that have diverse voices that are going on there. You make the media more of a cis white conservative sort of voices, then it's easier to ply, and that is what's going on right here.
I try to escape it because it's just so bad, but you can't. I mean, and we have to fight back. We have to continue to protest. I was so proud to see here in Chicago while I was away, people protesting in cold, snowy weather, and of course in Minneapolis protesting. I think it does make a difference. I think, people see.
It does. You've got public perception. I'm trying to figure out, I did a search yesterday, and I think this is also where we are right now. I don't know if things are real or not.
I know you see
things
something
that are coming in.
You have to do research right away.
You have to do research right away.
It.
But there was while there were protests happening in Minneapolis, in the city, there were people, a group of protesters on a lake who formed SOS. Hundreds of people got together for big SOS on the thing while a protest was happening as well.
I didn't see that one. But
Minnesota's been doing it right. Minnesota's been they've been
united
on it.
Yeah.
Look, this is we are in we're in it right now. We are in a major moment, and I know I keep talking about these weird. I keep using this strange analogy, but to me it's not strange. About Greek tragedy, about how a chorus within a Greek tragedy are a group of like-minded individuals who feel compelled to come out of their homes and witness what is happening, because everything in a Greek tragedy and a Greek drama happens in public, in the public square. This is what is happening right now in cities across the country, and it's all about what will it take to get you to come out of your house to do this. And Minneapolis has been showing up in some really, really bitter, cold circumstances.
They have. They've done a remarkable job of being united and being out there and speaking their truth.
Well, and what we need to be doing too is we have to stop like pussyfooting around stuff. Is we have to call like racist policies. We have to. That's what's going on. They are doing ICE is doing broad sweeps based on racial profiling and by like what you look like or what accent that you have. And it is racist. It is just racist. And we have to talk. They're no longer hiding. Even J.D. Vance is like talking about how like we were like a country, we're a country of immigrants, but there's something about like just Americans and about white people. It's all about white nationalism right now.
It's not even thinly veiled. It's just,
No, it is blatant, but we have to keep bringing it up because the thing that they keep thinking that is a weakness, which is diversity, is, as we all know, is really our strength.
And I think most Americans do feel that way, that it is our strength.
Then they need to get out of their houses. They need to step up, and they need to step up in places that are uncomfortable, which is hard.
It is.
Which is really, really hard. But this is unacceptable about what's going on. And we do have to remember that it is all about community. I feel very, very like, that is my word that I am focusing on this year. We need our community is strengthened because we are a group of different individuals with a like-minded idea that we are here. We just want to do our life. With Kat, who's going to be on in the second hour. Yeah. One of her issues that she is fighting for is basic existence. The fact that somebody has to list just living as a political issue, like that is what's going on. And what's been so heartening, especially like, okay, so in the height of when we had ICE here, there were 250 ICE and Border Patrol here in Chicago. There are 3,000
in Minneapolis
and St. Paul. 3,000 for a city half of our size. Not even. Like we're 2.7 million. There, I think, are like, I had a number somewhere there, but there's still like they're a little over 500,000. And that is, and the people of Minnesota are showing up. They are standing up for their neighbors. They are standing up for their ideals. The response is nothing short of heroic. And the administration, their message to this administration is very clear. That we need diversity here. They are saying that like only this current administration saying that diversity has no place in our community, that only white individuals are going to be are worthy. And everyday folks are leaving their homes and freezing temps to tell the country that that isn't the case. There's an educator and an activist who kind of popped up. Somebody had shared with me. Her name is Marsha Howard.
Yeah, I watched the clip.
She's fantastic, and she really breaks it down quite simply. This is from an Instagram post that she had earlier this week. This is Marsha Howard, an educator and activist in Minneapolis.
They hate us because they ain't us. They want our Great Lakes. We got all this water, y'all. They want our welfare state, and welfare got a dirty word. What that means is we take care of us. I'm sorry that the Lutherans are so nice and generous. I'm sorry they sponsored all the Southeast Asians after our secret war in Vietnam. We got the highest percentage of Hmong folk outside of Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. We got the highest percentage of Somali folk, shout out to Toronto though, outside of Somalia and Somaliland. The Karen folk are here. Black folk moved to this state from Chicago, Nebraska, Iowa, East St. Louis, and thrived. They hate us because we don't hate each other. And he thought this would be a proving ground. He thought that if he could do this operation, if he could break Minnesota, then he could replicate it in states across the nation. But what we are showing him every day is that we are better neighbors 3 weeks in than we were 3 weeks ago. We know each other better now than we knew each other then. We are showing them that we're unbreakable. Are we not? Even in the snow. Even in the snow.
Yep, there we go. Even in the snow. I mean, I cannot think of a better rallying cry. They hate us because we don't hate each other,
right.
and that we are better neighbors now than we were 3 weeks ago.
Very united, yeah.
I think that is a great way to kind of set up, because the best way to defeat despair is through action. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to be speaking with Coco Soodek, who is co-chair of Q-Force, which is an organization and community for queer and allied Chicagoans fighting for a more progressive America. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Choose Views with Richard Chew.
Rich, I guess I'll let you kind of introduce Jason.
Jason was at January 6th. He was charged and imprisoned for his actions, but he rejected the president's pardon.
Following Trump, it was almost like being I think Raiders fans are probably the closest thing to Trump fans. If you're looking for a football fan, it's the Raiders, because they're the ones who wear the makeup and they're crazy.
Richard Chew, weekday mornings at 6 on WCPT 820.
This is WCPT telling you how you can shop blue. The owners of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, Magnum Ice Cream Company, is currently silencing them. Now, why would they silence Ben & Jerry's? Oh yeah, that's right, because they were speaking negatively about the Trump administration and even prevented the company from releasing a flavor titled Peace in Gaza. Ben Cohen, the co-founder of Ben & Jerry's, has started a hashtag Free Ben & Jerry's to get their rights to speech back. Magnum Ice Cream Company owns several brands. So instead of talking about the brands that they own, let's talk about some ice cream companies that they don't own that are all for free speech. Johnny Pops, Dove Ice Cream, Tillamook, Häagen-Dazs. And for those of you who prefer frozen yogurt, Stonyfield. And if you still want to give Ben & Jerry's a chance, that's up to you. But make sure you only buy Ben & Jerry's and none of the other brands owned by Magnum Ice Cream Company. So maybe, just maybe, then they'll realize that people like their ice cream without a side of fashion. This has been WCPT telling you how you can shop blue.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
I'm Honey West. Welcome to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, just rolling along here on the first day of February. Hey, and just a reminder, Monday on Live, Local, and Progressive, Joan Esposito will be taking your calls and talking to Cameron Stevenson, national correspondent in Washington, D.C., for the Courier. Pete Dominick, news commentator, stand-up comic, and host of Stand Up with Pete Dominick podcast. And Mark Wolf, former U.S. District Judge of the United States District Court for the District of Massachusetts. In November 2025, Judge Wolf resigned and wrote an op-ed for The Atlantic entitled Why I Am Resigning. That is Live, Local, and Progressive, weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Central on WCPT, 820 a.m., heartlandsignal.com, and tune in. You know, with the news being so bleak and people can often slip into despair, I like to say that the best way to defeat despair is through action. And after a year's hiatus, Q-Force is back, baby, and better than ever. It's an organization and community for queer and allied Chicagoans fighting to embolden Democrats and defeat Republicans to create a more progressive America. And joining us now is co-chair of Q-Force, Coco Soodek. Coco, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for taking time out to join us today. I know these times are important to replenish the well, as it were. Yeah. So for our listeners out there who might not be familiar, can you give us a little history of Q-Force?
Yeah, I sure can. So there are a bunch of gay people in Chicago, LGBTQ people in Chicago. And there are. And a bunch of us got together in 2020, and we decided to bring Chicagoans to Southwest Michigan and canvass for Democrats. And it was an extremely successful canvass. We had members of Congress, we had people from our community and our allies in the community, and we think that we were able to flip a seat in Benton Harbor because of where we canvassed. So that was 2020. In 2023, we expanded Q4s. We put a name to it. We beefed up our board quite a bit, and we had canvassers. We organized canvassers for the 2024 elections in Michigan and Wisconsin, and so we shipped about 1,000 people for 3 months up until the ballots closed on that election day in 2024 to defeat Republicans and elect Democrats. And of course, it did not go the way we wanted, but we left it all on the field, and that has been some comfort to us over the first year of this Trump 2 administration. So now what we've done is the community asked for a bigger role, a bigger participation, sort of a broader mission. So we brought Q4s back. This is Q4s 2.0. And rather than just sort of coming together at election time, we're going to have meetings and salons every month. We're going to really build our community of people who want to fight what is happening in this country and build a more progressive country. And so we're going to meet every month, and we're going to talk about things, and we're going to strategize, and we're also going to give people a real opportunity to take action in that moment where they're sitting there, or as they're able or willing to. And then at election time, we will turn out our battalion of volunteers to canvass for Democrats and to defeat Republicans.
Coco, which particular elections do you have your eye on that you think are really important and need the push to make it happen for our side?
Well, I mean, certainly the Congress, all of the congressional races. There's a race in Michigan in the 4th congressional district. There's a guy named Huizenga who really can stand to be defeated, and there's an interesting primary happening right now. And so and that's Southwest Michigan, and so we've got our eye on that.
Okay.
And then there are various races in Wisconsin, but we're going to be looking also this time during the general election in Illinois, and we might also look at Iowa. You know, I don't think Minnesota needs us, but if there was any need, we would also march over to Minnesota and provide some boots on the ground.
Nice.
But one thing we won't do is we won't be taking part in primaries because we are not here to be part of the firing squad. But we are here to embolden Democrats and to try and get our party to be more strategic, better, tougher fighters, and we want our party to be a party of massive change, which we're not seeing right now. So we have a very big task, but we also have a very passionate community, and we're the LGBT community. We built civil rights out of nothing, starting in the 50s and then, of course, the late 60s, into marriage equality and the beginnings of real civil rights and equality, which is now under threat. But if there's any community that can strategize and fight to save the country from authoritarianism, the gay community must be a part of that.
Amen to that. Well, you mentioned that the Democratic Party is not the party of, it needs to be the party of change. Why isn't it the party of change right now? What does it need to do to make it the party of change?
Well, first of all, the Democratic Party needs to refocus on ordinary people and not its donors. The Democratic Party has not, this is my personal view, that the Democratic Party has strayed from its mission of being the party of the ordinary person, and instead caters too much to its big donors. And also there seems to be some kind of a syndrome among DC Democrats that this isn't really happening, that we're not really seeing the destruction of our country from the inside. But this has been going on for the last 50 years, and Democrats have sort of sat by and either ushered it through or sort of given some tacit acknowledgement that maybe we needed to favor people at the top and cut taxes and cut regulations and not support people in their needs for health care and decent compensation and housing. And all of these ideas about what it means to be American seem to be that America is really sort of a closed club for just the right people and not America, not a country for everyone, seems to be this idea that's taking hold that the Republicans have pushed and their donors, and that the Democrats have not fought against. And so we understand this at Q-Force, and we want to be part of the solution to actually make the Democrats stand for something, stand for ordinary people and real fairness. Mm-hmm. And so that's our sort of our instant push. I will say that one of the problems right now for every organization that is on the left is trying to balance somewhere between the urgent and the long term, because we haven't done a lot of long term planning as Democrats.
Right.
But right now we're in an emergency. So we have to do both, and that's a real challenge. But it is a challenge that Q-Force is trying to meet.
So now Q-Force is back 2.0, and you are going to be now operating all year round, which is fantastic. Again, I think, like I said, I think people right now are looking for a way that they can actually put their talents and their truthfully their anxieties into motion. They can actually, the best way to defeat despair is through action. You all had a salon earlier this month. Can you give us some of the highlights of what happened with that initial meeting?
Yeah, I sure can. And it was remarkable. So first we overfilled the room, and
Amazing.
We actually had to stop taking reservations about 3 days before because we were out of capacity, and we still were SRO in the room. Mm-hmm. So we had about 55 people, and what we wanted to do for the first meeting was sort of discuss what our plans were. So there are a bunch of leaders that have formed this. I'm one of the co-chairs. The other co-chair is a guy named Greg O'Neill, but we have a really terrific leadership group. And we thought about everything that we wanted to do and how we wanted to balance the urgency and the long-term activities. And so we got in this room and we asked people, we told people, look, this is what we want to talk about for the next year or two. These are the kinds of activities we want to do. Tell us what made you come here. Tell us what's keeping you up at night. Tell us what you want to work on. Tell us out of these things that we're going to talk about and study what you want. And people were ravenous to talk about how we got where we are today and what we can do as a community and then individually to put some spine in the Democrats, to defeat these terrible Republican policies and the even worse ideas behind them. People were absolutely hungry for this. So our next from that, our next meeting is February 24th. And it's all meetings are going to be on the fourth Tuesday of every month. And the next thing we're going to be talking about, the first really substantive thing we're going to talk about, is the common threads that bind us. What are the common values and ideas that make us that we agree on, that make us vote Democratic or progressive, and that we share as Americans? Because we have a very deep belief that one of the problems with the Democratic Party is we have really stopped focusing on what the commonalities are that really bind us together, and instead focus only on the fractured nature that we're a bunch of identities and constituencies in one party. And we don't think that's true. We think there are some common values and ideas that we share that make us and not Republicans. Mm-hmm. And from those values, we think there probably are some policies that we all definitely agree on, and a worldview and vision for this country. And we're very humble about this. We are a community organization, right? But we think that right now, since the National Democrats have sort of fallen down on the job of leading us to a better place in this country, it is time for small community organizations to do the work that the national politicians are not doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And you can see like the whole, again, going back to like Minneapolis right now, you see people who are out there actively on the streets who are like, and it sends as much of a message to Democrats as it does to Republicans to be like, no, we cannot tolerate this. We the American people will not tolerate this. And I think it's so important to remind the people that they work for us, and that we have. Like you said, there are things that unite us more than take us apart, especially within the Democratic Party. These are our values. This is, equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. It's the one that just keeps coming back to my head. So I know we're running out of time. The goal, I'm assuming, is to have folks who are going to be participating in this process. Do you have any sort of inkling? I know there's only been one salon that happened in January. We got another one coming up on the 24th. Do you see the different kind of roles that folks might be able to play? Because canvassing might not be in everybody's wheelhouse or comfort zone.
Boy, do we have roles for people.
Come on
first
now.
of all, the thing about Q4. The thing about Q-Force is we want to be a community-led organization. So politicians, the electeds, they can have a speaking role and an organizing role, but only among all of us. Instead, we want people. We want not just the leaders. We want the community members to come and actually own these meetings and these discussions and run with them. But we have all kinds of leadership opportunities. We have all kinds of opportunities to volunteer, and we have a whole list of 50 different ways that you can do something in this moment, short-term and long-term, that fits your time and your sort of extroversion or introversion. If you don't want to canvass, that's fine. There are a million other things you can do. And we are happy to give you a list and let you choose the thing that works for you. Can I say one thing about Minneapolis?
Real quick, yes. We were on a heartbreak.
I grew up there. I'm just unbelievably stunned and impressed and bowled over it. I think the whole country is grateful for Minneapolis's activism.
100%. And I think if you want to get some inspiration and if you want to take some action, the next Q-Force meeting is scheduled for February 24th. To sign up for more info, go to qforce.org. Coco, Soodek, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for letting our listeners know about what they can do.
And thanks for all your hard work, Coco. Really,
No,
appreciate
thank you for everything you do, Scott and Ellen. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's the second hour of Out Chicago right here on WCPT.
If you're interested in buying a home in the near future and you're looking for a real estate professional that's going to have your back, we bring them on the air right here at the Home Buyers Hour. Every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, we're going to have some of the best real estate agents, attorneys, mortgage brokers, and myself, a home inspector, right here on WCPT AM 820, where the facts matter.
Dive deeper into the heart of the news and stories at WCPT 820 and across the Midwest by checking out our website, heartlandsignal.com.
It's the coverage I can count on every time.
For the latest news updates, in-depth analysis, compelling stories, comprehensive election coverage, live streams, and thought-provoking opinions, head to heartlandsignal.com.
When I need to know, they're there.
They keep me informed and updated wherever I am.
Stay informed with WCPT 820, your go-to source for where facts matter. Driving it home with comedian and activist Patty Vasquez. Patty Vasquez, weeknights 5 to 7 on WCPT 820, where facts matter.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carton. Flight delays and cancellations are piling up as an intense winter storm slams parts of the southeast and mid-Atlantic. According to FlightAware, more than 1,100 U.S. flights have been canceled as of this morning, while more than 800 have been delayed. Charlotte Douglas International in North Carolina is feeling the biggest impact, with more than 800 flight cancellations so far. Even as the storm moves away, authorities are warning of power outages and life-threatening cold air that could last several days. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is defending the recent release of millions of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. During an interview with ABC's This Week, Blanche responded to criticism over redaction errors, saying they're working to rectify the situation.
That, of course, the nature of this type of review was the volume of materials that were reviewed, that there would be times when this happened, and so we're working hard to make sure that we fix that, and I expect that will continue.
He added that the redaction errors only impacted less than 1% of the materials. A group of Epstein's survivors slammed the release in a statement on Friday, saying that, quote, survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed, while the men who abused us remain hidden and protected. A federal judge has denied Minnesota's request to end the ICE raids in Minneapolis. A lawsuit was filed by the state along with the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul after the Renee Good shooting, demanding an end to the Trump administration's immigration raids. The lawsuit argued the administration was violating the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, which limits federal power. On Saturday, the judge ruled that there was evidence that federal agents have, quote, engaged in racial profiling, excessive use of force, and other harmful actions, but that the plaintiff had failed to show the administration had violated the 10th Amendment. You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
When you leave the office, catch up on what you missed on the way home with Patty Vasquez. Weekday afternoons from 5 to 7.
Because we have so much to talk about every day.
Driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
And as you would imagine, that would mean that folks want to call in and join the conversation.
Only on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. Driving it home with Patty Vasquez.
Hold on a second. I'm going to take this on the air. Hey, Steve Lessman, this is Patty Vasquez. We're live on the air. Are you really calling me? This is the sales department calling me live on the air? Hey, Steve. Steve, you're on the air.
Did they make
You've done that to me. You could know Art from WCPT.
Why are they calling you?
I have no idea. He just saw me in the hallway. Come on now.
Patty Vasquez. Weeknights 5 to 7 on WCPT 820.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, with more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties, classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, just rolling along.
Just rolling with the punches.
There we are. Yes, it is the first day of February. There's a reason why God made it 28 days.
Yeah. Short
and sweet.
And the next month is officially spring, so there you go.
Girl, we all know that's a lie. We all know that's a lie.
But it's a mental thing.
It is a mental thing. Tell that to my plants. My plants are like, they are getting mad right now.
Yeah.
And they're like,
it's that time of the year where they just are starting
come
to...
on. I know, and I think because we have a fireplace, like wood-burning fireplace, it's kind of like,
That's not the kind of heat they're looking for.
No, not at all. Anyway, we've got a really great second hour because this is, I always like to call it distraction and action going on there. So we've got a little bit of action that'll be coming up a little bit later. The primaries are coming up. March 17th, and we have got Kat Abughazaleh, who's going to be joining us.
Excellent.
She is running to represent Illinois' 9th District in Congress. We'll be speaking with her a little bit later on this hour. But now we've got a lovely time for some distraction with some art and conversation. The Story Theater is closing out its 5th season with the world premiere of Pot Girls. It is a new play about the power of women, words, and weed. And joining us right now is playwright Paul Michael Thomson and director Ayanna Bria Bakari. Paul and Ayanna, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Oh, thank you, Paul. You sound like you're talking into a fan right now, but we'll fix that on our end over here. Ayanna, first of all, welcome back to Out Chicago. We were thrilled to have you when you were a part of the incredible show Purpose at Steppenwolf. But now making your directorial debut with Pot Girls. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about the history and mission of the Story Theater?
Well, the Story Theater is just a wonderful place to be, and there is no one more wonderful than Paul Michael to give us the true meaning of what it is to be the Story Theater. So, Paul, I'm gonna toss this to you.
Okay.
You got it. The Story, we've been around since 2018. I'm one of the founders, and Ayanna has been with us since our first ever season in 2018. And now we run the company together as artistic directors, artistic leaders, as part of the governing ensemble that runs the Story Theater in a non-hierarchical collectivist fashion, rather than having a single artistic director at the top. And we develop and produce new plays for Chicago audiences by Chicago playwrights featuring all Chicago artists. So Pot Girls is, as you said, closing out our 5th season. Earlier this year, we did the critically acclaimed, sold-out run of At the Wake of the Dead Drag Queen by Terry Guest, which was amazing. And yeah, Ayanna and I have been collaborators for, 8 years now. And this is our first time working as playwright and director. And it's been amazing. And we're so excited to bring this play to Chicago audiences.
And we are very excited because, we had Terry on earlier, well, I guess not this year. We had him on last year to talk about the show. The Story Theater is definitely one of those theater companies that is one to be watching. Paul Michael, can you tell us a little bit about the origins of Pot Girls?
Absolutely. So Pot Girls, okay, picture it. It's 1982. There is a fabulous playwright named Carol who's getting her big break, and she and her lover, Edith, are throwing a party to celebrate Carol's new play that is debuting on the West End. And all of the guests at this kickback, blunt rotation, are famous feminist authors from different history and cultures. So they include Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz from Mexico, Lady Murasaki Shikibu from Japan, Phyllis Wheatley from the United States, etc. And so there's this beautiful, amazing first act where we get to see all of these women authors celebrating together and talking about what the power of writing can be, all while sharing joints, of course. And in the second act, we actually get to see Carol at work during Tech Week of her big break play. And she's presented with the ways that this play might be causing harm to some communities. And she has to sort of decide, is she going to learn from the past or is she going to write a new story? So that's the summary. And I've had the idea for this play. That's all we can give you, okay? Because if we give you too much. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I was over here thinking like, Paul,
pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Sorry, Paul. We cut you off with our jiding.
Oh, you're fine. No, just to say that it's a play that I have been working on for a number of years. We were lucky enough to do a workshop in October that Ayanna directed, and really excited that it's getting its world premiere now. So. I feel like in order for us to move forward with this conversation, we have to. So this is in direct reference to a play called Top Girls by coincidentally a British playwright named Carol Churchill. Can you tell us a little bit about Top Girls? Because this is going to be a very interesting run because it will be in conversation. You are the resident company at Raven Theater, right? Yes, Exactly. Yeah,
yes.
we've been in residence since 2019, and yes, this is a new exciting chapter of that residency because it's the first time we're doing sort of an artistic collaboration and having shows in rep together.
Yeah.
As you said, yeah. So Pot Girls is definitely I like to think of it as a riff on Top Girls. It's very structurally similar, and it sort of Top Girls has this very famous opening scene of a dinner party celebrating the protagonist Marlene's promotion at work, and all of the guests at the dinner party are famous women throughout history. And so I sort of took that first act and riffed on it and thought, what would it look like if we were celebrating Carol in her West End debut? So yes, definitely intertextual, but not an adaptation. And I think Ayanna can speak to the ways that our play is uniquely sapphic, uniquely activist, etc.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to get that out there just because, I see this is a totally different play, and I love this. Is my theater nerd is so on fire right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? We have the opportunity to see two different plays that are in conversation with each other. Some plays don't.
Yeah, we don't get enough of it.
We don't. We don't, and I think that it's something so wonderful that you have this new work that's inspired by this other work that does sometimes things that have been placed in the so-called modern canon don't necessarily age very well.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So Ayanna, as you are, donning a new cap of a director for this, how has this process been going for you?
It has been incredible. Honestly, I've mostly known in Chicago as an actor, and so I'm excited to be able to put my full brain into a process because, as an actor, you stay in your lane and you focus on the things that you're supposed to focus on, and, your scene work and you're this, that, and the third, and you're not allowed to, there's an emergency outside my window. Oh, no. But you're not really encouraged to, take on ideas that don't revolve around you being an actor. And I don't necessarily agree with that. And I encourage everybody in the space, from actor to designer to producer to playwright to whomever, if we're in the space creating something together, we're all responsible for this work. And I call it the Good Samaritan rule. And so I'm like, if you don't sabotage me, I won't sabotage you, and we can work together, and we can make and build this beautiful thing that we're all trying to create that will take all the minds of everyone in this room to make, not just mine. And so I really just created my dream rehearsal space with, all the knowledge that I learned from my mentors like Ronald J. Parsons and Michael Burke and Marty Lyons, these people that are great directors that I've worked with over the course of my life or my professional career, and have really just formed my own salve of directing balm, to carry me through. And I am very confident in these actors. I'm confident in this team. Everybody is so well, encouraged and inspired by the words that Paul Michael put on the page. And this play is going to do something to this city that's going to be powerful. It's going to do something to American theater that's going to be very powerful. And I'm very grateful that this is my directorial debut.
We are. Sorry, finish your thought.
No. I'm just saying, this play is the true definition of why I want to create art in the first place. So I'm very excited for everyone to get a taste.
Well, as you should be. I'm looking forward to it. The title got me right away, but now learning more about it, I'm even more intrigued. Does this, Ayanna, does this experience of your directorial debut make you looking forward to your next acting job or your next directing job?
Definitely my next directing job. I feel like I'm always going to act because it's just who I am. It's what I was put here to do. But now I feel like, the ancestors in this project has put me on a new path, and I'm hoping that when people seeing this show, they'll see that I am able to take vision and bring it to life and take stories and put them and paint them with humans and paint them with design and really create worlds that are not just specific to a character. That I'm limitless when it comes to this creative playmaking stuff, and I hope.
Truly,
I really believe that.
Well, it sounds like it's
seeing her. I was just going to say, from the playwright's perspective, seeing her in the room, I cannot endorse this woman enough as a director. She is just unbelievable. It's wonderful to see someone doing exactly what they're meant to do for the first time.
Oh,
It's it's so special.
I can tell from listening to you, and you probably don't remember, but your quote unquote godmother introduced you to me at Purpose at the after.
Yeah, Doris. Love Doris. Shout out Doris.
Doris, she and Ron, they love you. She loves you. That's my goddaughter up there. And I said, wow, you got a heck of a person in your life, because your performance in Purpose was fantastic, and I can just tell from talking to you that you are one of the great directors in the making here in Chicago. So I mean that.
Thanks for I appreciate it. As long as they're really powerful and important and poignant stories to be told, I'll be happy to help bring them to life.
Beautiful.
Well, so which brings us to so how you're in rehearsals right now. What is the process like? Because it sounds the Story Theater with your new production of Pot Girls by Michael Thomson. It seems like it is a very collaborative organization to begin with. So I could only imagine that the rehearsal process is, from what you described as well, between empowering actors, designers, playwright, everybody to be a part of this. What does that look like? How have you and Paul been working together in tandem for the ongoing development of the script?
I mean, I don't know about you, Paul, but maybe I do. But I eat, sleep, and breathe this production right now and this company. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about things that I want to do, or, having thoughts about stuff that's pertaining to this play. And then I come into the room, and the people who we asked to be a part of this production inspire me so much. And, everything moves forward because everybody is thinking in forward motion with this play. Everybody's thinking about this play every day. So it doesn't feel like we're alone. It doesn't feel isolating. It feels like we're all pushing towards the same goal, and it can be a very emotional process, which it has been, and it's encouraged because, I think as an ensemble, we think that the work comes from the heart and us expressing how we feel about things and how things are affecting us in the moment, and leaving space for, critical thinking and processing tensions and processing emotion in the space. So I know that might sound a little woo-woo, sound very romantic, but we are a very romantic, very emotional, very in tune with our emotions group of people. So I think that helps.
And I do think that, it's a space where we always say, we're rehearsing for the world that we want to live in. We live in a time where there's so much fear and danger and repression happening. And we try to create a rehearsal room, and Ayanna really does this as our director, as our leader, where anyone's voice is welcome. And if you have an idea about, where you think your character should go, or, oh, maybe I have another way that I would like to say this line, or, hey, have you ever thought about doing it this way? Those ideas, that collaboration is really welcome. And I am an actor as well. Ayanna is an actor. And so we know we've been in rooms that are very hierarchical, where you are told, stand over there and, cross over left and look over your right shoulder and make it work, and this is a room at Pot Girls where people are welcome to bring their full selves as part of the collaboration, including their ideas.
So what do you hope, as performances begin on the 12th for Pot Girls, what do you hope audiences leave with after seeing the world premiere of your play, Paul Michael?
Oh, my goodness. I hope that I think that different folks will take different things, but I hope that people will leave seeing what we have done on this production. It's a play about making plays. And I hope that people sort of see from the meta level that our work on this production, what they have just witnessed, that is the thing that they should walk away from. I hope that they walk away, and as Ayanna always says, they did that. And I hope that that's what people leave with.
Yeah, I think of this play as a blueprint. I really believe that Pop Girls will be studied. This play will be is a curriculum to playmaking. Is a curriculum for a lot of things that I can't say now because I don't want to give it away because I want people to be intrigued and to come. But I think you will come and you will see this play. You will learn a lot about yourself. You will learn. Once you've seen this play, you can't go back anymore.
All right.
Go back to ignorance.
All right. Come on.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So come see it. Come get your life.
I'm coming.
And again, there's also
change something, and then make a change,
and then make a change.
Nice.
And then will also be the opportunity to both see Top Girls that Raven is producing, as well as Pot Girls that the Story Theater is producing. I think it's how wonderful to be in that building where these two pieces of art are now going to be in conversation with one another. It's a rare opportunity and the best thing to do on a gross February night, I think, to go get inspired and go make a change. So if you want to be inspired and make that change, the Story Theater's world premiere of Paul Michael Thompson's Pot Girls, directed by Ayanna Bria Bakari, begins performances on February 12th and runs through March 1st at Raven Theater. For tickets and more info, head to thestorytheater.org/tickets, and that's theater with an R-E because they are fancy that way.
Okay.
Ayanna Bria Bakari and Paul Michael Thompson break all the legs and change the world as you are heading towards opening night. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are speaking with a candidate for the Illinois 9th District in Congress, Kat Abughazaleh. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
The family meeting.
We almost still have no choice but to vote because the other evil is really, really evil, right? Where some folks are just like, my life doesn't really change because, it's not going to really be that bad for me. No matter who wins, my life goes on. But if this other one wins and he's targeting certain groups, if I'm in that group, I'm screwed.
Yep.
Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m., The Family Meeting.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. Percy Julian was born in 1899 in Birmingham, Alabama. His mother was a school teacher and stressed education. Percy achieved academic success throughout his youth and graduated from DePauw University in 1920. Racial discrimination diverted Mr. Julian from his preferred career path and graduate studies, but he did earn a PhD in chemistry in Vienna, Austria. Julian returned to the U.S. and a professorship at Howard University. In 1935, he entered private industry and eventually started his own company. Mr. Julian married and settled in the Chicago area. In 1950, his home was set ablaze by an arsonist, and 1 year later, a bomb narrowly missed his children while they slept. Despite racial adversity, Percy Julian earned international accolades for pioneering research and paved the way for black scientists in education and industry. You can learn more about this great American at blackinventor.com. And please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla and Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Hey, this is Mark Patton, and I'm from Spring Clean My Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, as we roll along on this slightly warmer February Sunday. Yeah. There we are. And we're now in February, which means that the Illinois primaries are quickly approaching. They're coming up in March. And one of the heated races to take the seat currently held by Jan Schakowsky to represent Illinois 9th District in Congress. That's one of the big races that's happening. And joining us now is one of the candidates in that race, Kat Abughazaleh. Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Great job on my last name.
Thank you. I have been practicing.
They all have. I appreciate it.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. I know this is a very, very busy time for you, and I'm going to I'm going to ask a very simple, basic question that I like to ask all of our candidates. Why are you running?
Several reasons. The first of which, I feel a sense of urgency that I feel like most Americans feel right now. Mm-hmm. They're killing us in the streets. And we are expected to just have business as normal, business as usual. I felt that sense of urgency since before this. I was a researcher and journalist who covered the far right. This is the worst case scenario, but what I and my colleagues warned the Democratic Party about for years. And that's why I'm the only candidate in my race who announced my candidacy before the incumbent announced her retirement. And it wasn't because of any vendetta against her, but because that sense of urgency is really necessary right now. We are not in training mode. This is not a dry run. We're here. We're in the fascism. We need to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, I hate to bring up her age so early in this.
Please do.
Oh, I know, but it's like, it's so refreshing to see somebody who's like, wait, no, we have to change things. I can do that. I can make a change. And, you know, there's something about that spirit that you're just like, all right, come on, let's do it. Jump in. It's like nothing against you, Jan. You know, I'm a Jan fan. This is before, you know, things, but we need to shake things up. We need some new folks coming in to represent the folks of Illinois. Also, I have to goof on your ad campaigns are just chef's kiss. Yeah, they are so good. I just want to let you.
Did you see the new fake attack ad?
No.
What is it?
Yeah, we have one. If you ever watch Parks and Rec, where it's like Bobby Newport, we did that, but for myself. So it's like Kat Abughazaleh thinks you deserve universal health care. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank you for all of that. And just thank you for just the chutzpah of all right, you know, let's just do it.
And you know, you are, Scott points out, a younger candidate than we're used to seeing. Are you finding that your peers are coming out for you and you're getting tons of support, and are they getting inspired by you and your movement?
Oh yeah, the momentum right now is just crazy. But I would say that this is something I didn't expect. We also have a lot of older support of people that want the next generation to have a livable world, a livable planet, not exist under the secret police. Yeah. Today we had 5 people show up to door knock in, what's the temperature right now, 23-degree weather, who had never door knocked for any campaign before, not just ours.
Oh, good.
And I think that's just because people realize no one's going to save us. We are what saves us.
Mm-hmm. We are. And, you know, look at... I mentioned this earlier in the show, you know, looking through your platform, the issues that are important to you, the fact that you have basic existence is listed on as one of the issues. That hit me in a really profound way. I'm like, whoa, that's where we are. That is where we are. One of our issues is we just want to exist. What are some of the other main issues that you're running for on your platform? Is you're running to represent Illinois 9th in the U.S. Congress?
You know, I'm so glad you brought basic existence up, because our top 2 issues are anti-authoritarianism and what I call basic existence. And that's my North Star. Everyone should be able to afford housing, groceries, and healthcare with money left over to save and spend. And we can negotiate and argue about how we get there, but that needs to be where we're going. And the thing is, incrementalism hasn't worked. We have to try something different. And housing, groceries, healthcare, but also education, climate, disability rights, racial justice, all of these things are tied together. And if we treat them in a piecemeal fashion, we are just going to end up in the same place that we always end up. And that's with half measures that get us into the moment we are now. I am very pro-peace in terms of our foreign policy. I've been endorsed by Peace Action, the largest grassroots peace network in the world. I am for democratic reform and also banning stock trading. If I vote anyone I vote for Speaker of the House, I will publicly say that they have promised me that they promote banning stock trading and also forcing members of Congress to sell their individual stocks. But most importantly, prosecuting ICE is my top priority, abolishing and prosecuting ICE. We have the most comprehensive platform in this race, but guess what? You can't afford anything if you've been shot in the face. You can't, pursue higher education if you're in a concentration camp. And we can't just pretend this was a bad dream. We need to prosecute these criminals.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm just letting that sink in.
Yeah. What are you hearing? How do you get by each day when you're a young person, you're putting yourself out there? It's a big role to be a representative here in Chicago, and I guess you touch on some suburbs as well. How do you handle the criticism and the negativity that comes to a candidate that's coming, is forceful with new ideas and trying to be bold and progressive? How do you deal with it on a day-to-day basis?
Well, luckily, I covered Nazis for a living as a researcher and journalist, and so I've already grown that thick skin. It's honestly the best training you can have for running for Congress. But a lot of the things that were really stressful about the campaign honestly seem, I was federally indicted late last year, and it kind of put things in perspective. In fact, that day we were supposed to have a meeting of a bunch of little things that had fallen behind on the campaign. And then we all just sat on the couch and we were like, okay, well, now we know what's really important here. So I'm just supported by an incredible staff, our incredible volunteers, and then, of course, my partner, Ben, who's just the most incredible person I could have by my side.
And so what does that mean to be federally indicted to you, as far as, do you have to come up with the money yourself to defend yourself, or how does it work for people that may not understand?
Yeah, I'm really lucky that we have the campaign is able to cover our costs, which is necessary because I have less than $3,000 in my bank account right now, which is something that a lot of people face.
Sure.
But a lot of folks aren't in that position. And we're seeing across the country as more and more people are targeted by this administration legally. And for my case, it's less of a surprise than it should have been, because all of the people I used to cover as a journalist now run the country. Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, Dan Bongino.
Yeah.
So it was weird to be like, oh yeah, here the shoe just dropped, but also expecting it. But part of this, even if the case is bullshit, which, sorry, shouldn't say that. Even if the case is BS, it's about the psychological warfare of it, of the stress, of the financial burden. It's awful.
Yeah,
I'm sure. And another reason for people to support you. You need support because you're out there doing it. I mean, I can't, there's not that many candidates that I've seen that have put their life. And when you go out to the detention center in Broadview, you're putting your life on the line for what you believe in.
And look, I should mention that some of my fellow opponents joined me out there. And the first week I went out there wasn't a single politician. And the next few weeks there weren't either. But they did join eventually. And I'm glad about that.
Yeah.
I want that to, I want to be clear. This is not, I don't want to detract from that. But I also want to set this up as the expectation so we don't have to wait for people to come out there, for there to be pressure to come out there. I want this to be the first instinct of everyone running for office.
That we all come out. And certainly the whole idea of being a servant leader, it's like you are out there doing the work as well, like you said. So do you have any, so with your platform, as you were talking about how it's very multifaceted, you need to be looking at education, housing, all food costs, all of those things. Are there any practical proposals? Like, how do you plan to address those issues?
Yeah, so as far as, let's be real, we're not getting a bunch of progressive legislation through under Trump, and I think we should be realistic about that. But as far as the general vibe of basic existence, protections against price gouging, building more housing with federal incentives to work with local businesses, and universal health care with full dental, mental, vision, and hearing coverage all save us money. They're more efficient and effective systems than what we have, and including a cost of living exemption to lower taxes for the working class, while also taxing wealth and investments for people making over $50 million exponentially would bring in the revenue. But also, once again, these are cheaper systems. But as far as what we can pass under this administration, I want to spearhead AI regulation. There are 0 federal regulations for AI right now. And that includes, these databases like Palantir's, which takes our faces and puts it in there. These need to be regulated and deleted from the government's property. And this is one of the few things that I think we can pass with bipartisan support, especially because it was the one thing that didn't make it through Trump's big, beautiful bill, not being able to regulate AI for 10 years. Even Republicans thought that was a step too far.
Yeah. Where are you? I mean, this is kind of a loaded question. Like, where are you in terms of social media? You know, there's been a big move right now of everybody to delete TikTok that's going on because of the new ownership that was happening with the data breaches and people stealing information. Where are you in terms of of social media? Everybody is on. People that get their news, everything is curated. We do not receive the same sort of information. We spend a lot of time on social media. Like, where are you in terms of, and the tech bros have a lot of sway. We see that, you know, with Bezos, you know, the $75 million that they put towards this stupid Melania, the quote unquote documentary, you know, like they hold a lot of sway and a lot of power. Where do you stand on regulation of social media?
That's a really great question. I always tell people, don't listen to what I say, watch what I do. And even though there's like no perfect social media company, we try to have our values align with our actions. So for instance, we've completely left the platform of Twitter, which is now a website where people generate child pornography. It's horrific. And I encourage any other candidates to do the same, and certainly don't advertise on there, Jesus. But as far as regulating social media, I think we also get into the issue of overreach, like these laws that would essentially require you to plug in your ID to play a video game or to watch a movie, or even, you know, to be a little blue here, to like watch porn. These are basic things that people are doing in their own time, and the government doesn't need to be monitoring this, and it doesn't protect children. Instead, you're asking kids to put their face into a computer. I'm very against regulations like that. On the other hand, I think we should be regulating misinformation and AI generation. These are things like, you know, when your phone asks for cookies when you log on. Making companies ask users to opt in to their data being used to train large language models is a really simple way that we can at least cut down on what is essentially a plagiarism machine and give users more agency. Additionally, we need to be holding algorithms accountable that these tech billionaires create that literally exist just to make us angry at each other. It's a fine line. As someone that's very pro First Amendment, as someone that is a journalist, I don't think it's the government's role to be the arbiter of truth. At the same time, when you're doing tangible damage to so many places and so many people, we need to make sure there's accountability.
Amen to that. That's what I.
You know, an aside, you're a journalist. Is there a journalist out there today that you love, that you think really gets it right?
There are plenty. One I always shout out is my colleague and friend Marissa Kabas, Kabas. She has the newsletter called The Handbasket. She repeatedly scoops major news organizations that just refuse to hold people in power accountable. She is absolutely incredible. And of course, I'm partial to Mother Jones of Zateo News, my former employers. But they do really great work. And I think that there's a pattern of, you know, independent journalism. You have to be careful because there are a lot of grifters out there. But at the same time, a lot of these news organizations have incredible people working there, like the Chicago Tribune, but people in charge, like at the editorial board, that undermine their work. So really looking at the person rather than the institution is important right now.
Yeah, but what Scott said, you know, we don't know where to go. I mean, everything you look at, you have to double check it. You know, you see something and, oh, wow. And then you have to say to yourself, well, just because I read it doesn't mean it's true. And we've never been in this position before. And it's hard to ferret out what is real and what isn't. And this is, I don't know how we can put the genie back in the bottle, but getting things like AI under regulation, I think, is a start.
Yeah. And like, there's never going to be a perfect world, but we can try our best to make things a lot better than they are now.
Right. So as we are moving into the primaries that are coming up in March, what sort of events do you have planned with your campaign?
Oh my gosh. I will give you all a little scoop here. We're going to be having a concert that I'm really excited about. Stay tuned for details there. We have, let me check our calendar right now. My mind is always
do you have the date of the concert that people can kind of block off if you can't, even if you can't give
February 27th.
February 27th. And it's going to be here in Chicago?
It's going to be, I believe it's going to be in Evanston, actually.
Oh, okay. That's right there.
We have this upcoming week, we're going to be doing stuff with Evanston Stitch Works. I'm big on knitting, and we've had a lot of people in our campaign. Actually, yesterday we had people helping make no-sew blankets for unhoused folks. We are door knocking every single day, phone banking every single day, text banking every single day. If anyone wants to help us do that, you can join our Discord, discord.gg/catforillinois, or go to catforillinois.com/events. We really try to make sure that everything is accessible to everyone, no matter their income. So you can donate literally $1 for like a event that technically counts as a fundraiser, and email us your donation, and you can still come, because we don't think that politics should be behind a paywall.
I love it. All right. Well, hey, as we kind of have to wrap things up, but what would you say, what would be your parting message to folks who are looking at their choices in a highly contested race for the Illinois 9th for Congress? What is your final message?
This is the first competitive primary in this district since before I was born.
Yeah.
You have a lot of choices, and a lot of us, to be honest, will vote similarly on a lot of issues. And that's okay. It's really great that we are in such a progressive district. That means that you are voting based on how they will govern in this moment. How I will govern in this moment is I will spend every waking moment till the day I die making sure that these people are held accountable. I don't want to be in Congress forever. I want to get in, do some good, get some fascists out, and then go back home to hanging out with my cat and leaving it for the next person. I don't believe in power forever. Additionally, I think it's really important to recognize this sense of urgency. Is this a promotion for someone? Is someone going to run for another office in 2 years? And is this someone that is following or leading? And as far as our campaign, I'm the first one in this race. I was the first one to physically stand up to ICE. The first one to call for Palestinian statehood. And I absolutely refuse to compromise my values. I don't take any money from billionaires, any money from corporate PACs, and I'm the only of the top 3 candidates polling that hasn't met with AIPAC.
All right. Well, if you want to learn more about this exciting candidate, make sure you head to catforillinois.com, and that's cat with a K. Cat Abughazaleh, thank you so much again for joining us today. Best of luck as you are headed towards the primaries in March.
We love your energy, and we love your commitment to what you're doing, and you're out there showing it. So I admire you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your work, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Mind Over Matters.
Dr. Amy Harris Nuan, as you know, this show is about challenging you to think differently, to make different choices in your life, to take action, to create positive outcomes in your life. So I want to challenge you to look at your life holistically. To where am I satisfied? What areas need attention? And then go to work, take in action what you need to do.
Mind Over Matters with Dr. Amy Harris Nuan. Sundays at 10 a.m. on WCPT 820.
You know, winter in Chicago hits hard. Is your home ready to stay warm and energy efficient? At Green Attic, they help you fight back against the cold. They're Chicagoland's trusted experts in attic insulation, spray foam, crawl space encapsulation, and mold remediation, solutions that lock in warmth and cut your heating bills. If your upstairs feels freezing or your furnace never stops running, your attic might be the culprit. Their team seals in comfort and stops energy waste at the source. Need roofing? Their sister company, Green Attic Roofing, offers asphalt, flat, premium roofs, and even Tesla solar roofs, all backed by a 10-year labor warranty and instant online quotes. Winter storms don't wait. Replace that aging roof now and protect your investment. With over 15 years of experience and more than 1,000 five-star reviews, Green Attic delivers real comfort, real savings, season after season. Visit greenattic.com for a free insulation consultation or go to greenatticroofing.com for your instant roofing estimate. Green Attic, healthy home, happy family. Jose and Laura came to Brookfield Tax Planning worried about their taxes. After their free, no-obligation tax reduction review, they discovered they'd been overpaying $8,100 every year for 28 years. That's $227,000 of hard-earned money gone forever. Why? Jose and Laura's financial advisor did nothing to reduce their taxes, and their accountant records history after the year ends when it's too late to use legal, proactive tax reduction strategies for business owners and retirees. 94% of Brookfield's clients discover they've wasted thousands for years due to passive advisors. Brookfield Tax Planning reviews your returns free and can show you how much you're overpaying, how to plan ahead now to stop it. You risk nothing. But this may be the most profitable hour you'll invest all year. Call Brookfield Tax Planning at 708-485-3439 or visit BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com. That's BrookfieldTaxPlanning.com.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Hi, my name is Amy Sumter. I'm a comedian as well as She's Crafty, and you are listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller.
Yes.
Hey, and just to let you know, Monday on Driving It Home, Patty Vasquez will be talking to Austin May, candidate for McHenry County Board District 5, and Benja Agilori. I'm so sorry that I messed up that name because the chief economist at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. And on Tuesday, Patty will be joined with Myra Macias, independent candidate for Congress in the 4th District, seat currently held by Chuy Garcia. Driving It Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 a.m., the Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. This is a big week that are coming up. We have the Grammys are tonight. We have the Olympics are opening, I think on Friday, and then that big Bad Bunny concert is happening next Sunday.
Oh, next Sunday is the big Bunny concert.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
I know.
Everything else that goes on around it.
Sure, but we don't care, do we? Because the Bears didn't make it.
No, I know. If you're a fan of football, you care. And if you're gambling at all, you really care.
Can we look? We need to do like an expose about like these DraftKings and all these like online gambling things. People are getting into some serious trouble with that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean,
I'm not a fan at all.
I like to do Super Bowl squares. Okay, I do I bet on the couple of the horse races, and I do Super Bowl squares. That's pretty much it because it is a deep, dark hole, gambling. You know, if you 100%. Know anybody that's been addicted by it, and I do, it is as bad as any addiction you can have. It can ruin your life just like drugs or alcohol.
Oh, I know.
And if you're poor and you can't live because you had money and you had an addiction and you let it all go the way of the addiction, it's a sad road.
It is.
And and you wonder, you know, every year, and Devin can speak to this, these more and more players, and even at the college level, there was a big scandal earlier this year about college. They were throwing games, you know, because they threw big money after these kids. They knew which ones to go after, and they targeted them. And, you know, here, poor Pete Rose, who, you know, he's a jerk, but he's one of the best baseball players ever. And, you know, he gambled, and he's been banned for life and from getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame. But now you've got a DraftKings. It's literally attached to Wrigley Field.
I know.
And you're going to tell the players they shouldn't gamble?
Yeah.
So anyway, don't get me on
well, no, I will. That's for another day.
Yeah, it's for another day.
It's for another day.
I do want to talk about my shirt real quick. This is a shirt that I bought to go to Mexico in the fall, and it's in Spanish, and it says, "The immigrants are not criminals, but the president is," and it's in Spanish. And when I travel, I wear this shirt. It's because, you know, if I'm at airports, there's a lot of minorities, of course, working at airports, and I had I wore this shirt yesterday, and the United Airlines guy who checks you in to get on the plane looked at my shirt and he said, "Thank you." And I said, "Thank you. You're welcome." And then I ordered some food last night when we got home, and I had it on, and the delivery driver was an Indian restaurant, but he was apparently Hispanic, and he says, I thank you so much for wearing that shirt. And I'm like, oh, God. Yeah. And he goes, "You don't know how much it means to me." And Kathy and I were standing there, and we were all like literally in tears. And any support you can show people right now, because you can't imagine what immigrants who are here legally are having to go through right now. American-born citizens that are children of immigrants or grandchildren of immigrants are literally having to carry their papers around with them. in America. And they're hurting, and it stinks. And I love this shirt because most people that can read it, or if you can read Spanish, you're probably a sympathizer to what's going on with the community and the brown and black community and what they're going through. So just little things, let people know. That sign, the ice out or whatever sign you have, I have one on my door. There's so many people that come to the door that you forget, are minorities that appreciate the support, and I think we need to show them now more than ever because it's some tough times right now.
100%.
So anyway, you can get this on Amazon. I know we hate to support them, but I don't know where else to get it.
Okay. Or how about your local T-shirt shop? That's happened. There are several in Andersonville, and I'm sure there are several in Lakeview as well. So go with that and design your own shirt. Make your own protest.
Make your own
sort of thing that's going on there. Yes, support local businesses like Strange Cargo. There are the now defunct T-shirt deli. God, I love that place.
I love that place, yeah.
There we are. So, like I said earlier, the Grammys are tonight. Is there anybody that you're looking for? No, music is your thing?
I got to skip down to the blues and those categories.
Well, they don't even put those on the air.
No,
that's the thing.
They don't even make it on the air.
I know.
You have to look for the crawl to see if your friends won or people you might know. I just always, I have a love-hate relationship with the Grammys because it's a lot of, like anything, it's a lot of popularity versus what's really good sometimes, who's campaigned the most, who's got the most juice. But there's some great moments that have happened on the Grammys over the years, whether it's Prince or Sly or Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand doing their thing. I mean, there are moments that happen.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it's must-see entertainment for me. I'm looking to see who's up for my favorite categories here. And it's, like Scott said, they all do them the day before.
So they probably already won. There we are.
Or earlier in the day. Some of them are earlier in the day.
Oh, all righty.
Yeah,
there we are.
I know that, Chappell Roan's up for something. Lady Gaga, the Bruno Mars is up for stuff. Who else?
And Bad Bunny could actually be walking away. There's a lot of buzz around Bad Bunny right now, and he could actually be one of the first non-English speaking the first one to win Album of the Year, which I think is really, really cool. And it's really, really fun to watch everybody on the right whose buttholes are getting very, 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 very tight about coming up the Super Bowl halftime show with the Bad Bunny. They're calling it the Woke Bowl. Aren't they offering like an option that to cut away from? Is that still a thing? I know that was in the works.
They were doing an alternative
halftime
show, which had some ridiculously. I don't even know if that's still happening.
Is that still going on?
That's still a thing. They've sold virtual tickets, but they haven't announced who's playing or anything. So this is just probably going to be 15 minutes of Ding Dong giving a speech or something.
Oh,
or
how
clips
fun!
Of Charlie Kirk or who knows.
No, I love all that. That would be really, really, really great.
Yeah. Quickly looking back at the Grammys, I see that one of the bands that was on the cruise, often they get off at one of the ports when they're nominated. But one of the guys I was jamming with all week is up for a Grammy.
All right,
a band called Southern Avenue. A great band. Also, Robert Randolph, who's also a personal friend, he's up for a Grammy for Best Contemporary Blues Album. There are some political things going on because you've got John Batiste is up for a song that is about, what's it about? Money, something. Jesse Wells, who was on this morning on the Sunday morning show. What's it called? I never get that name right. CBS This Morning, I guess, or something. I don't know. I watch it every Sunday before the. He is you know who Jesse Wells is? He did that song about ICE on Colbert a couple months ago that went viral. He's got lines like, if you want to be a bully and beat up people, join ICE, et cetera, et cetera. He's very politically oriented. So I think tonight, the last couple of award shows, the Golden Globes were not that political. But I think tonight you're going to see some stuff. CBS Sunday Morning is the name of that show that I watch But they did a nice piece on Chicago's Jeff Tweedy because he's up for a Grammy, and they did a nice show, a piece about Jesse Wells. They're both on there today. So there's some very, very prolific artists that are going to be out there tonight. And if they win, I think we're going to be hearing from them. So some good stuff.
In the blues category? No offense. But, is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about
everybody.
But John Batiste is also he's in some.
Is he like in, I love him.
He's in I thought he's in some off category of some sort. And Jesse Wells is in the blues category. And he's, like I said, he's like a modern day Dylan. So
right on.
Yeah. So
I
anyway,
that one.
Yeah. He's great. I think you'd like him.
All right, I'll check him out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the Grammys are always it's the award season right now. It's one of the little things that gets us through the winter time.
It does. It truly does. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. And I also love the fact that because it's the music industry, it tends to, and there's that whole like rock and roll vibe, that people do tend to be a little bit more outspoken,
yes.
a little bit more political about what's going on here. I'm just like, for some reason, I'm hoping for the Bad Bunny. I'm hoping for people to kind of like just really, really lose their minds.
So he's up for some big categories. So
yeah,
I think it'd be fantastic.
Song of the year, album of the year, record of the year.
Yeah.
There you go. I also love
it.
Doechii. Girl, I love Doechii. She's insane and incredibly talented.
See, what I love about Scott is he listens to totally different music than I do. So we bring
1,000%.
So it's a.
And yet I don't understand Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know why.
Well, I don't
That's
either.
just me.
So
I know that's where I'm like losing my gay card
on that one.
But there you are. But I know she's very important to many people.
Oh my goodness.
There we are.
She's huge.
And on that note, so best of luck to everybody.
We'll wrap it up
for the
next
Grammys.
week. We'll talk about it.
There we are. That's going to do it for us today. I want to thank all of our guests today: Coco, Soodek, Kat, Abughazaleh, Paul Michael Thomson, and Ayanna Bria Bakari. Devin, thank you so much for running things so smoothly. Paul, thank you for catching everything back there. Ellen, welcome back. Glad you had a great time. Good to have you back.
Let's hold down the fort.
And I am Scott Duff, and until next week, stay proud.